Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody in between, welcome to another episode of the Chaps Chat Cats, a part of the Hoops Crew Media Network. My name's Jake, and I'm joined in the virtual studio on the eve, essentially, of the AFLW 2024 season by two gents also entering their fifth season covering the AFLW on this podcast. Sambo, Johnny, how the bloody hell are you?
Bloody excited, I am.
I'm very good. My OCD is being set off a little bit by John being off center. Should we all go off center, or do we?
I was just trying to get the Caleb Bowen's Guernsey in the background.
That's right. I'll move, and I'll get Batman in.
Trying to feature the merch.
Trying to feature the merch.
You're trying to
One
sell
of
it.
my favorite players.
If I move too...
I was trying to sell it. No, I'm not saying that.
If I move too far to the side, you'll see my cats eating their dinner. So I'm not going to move too far to the side.
Got to display this one.
Big show tonight, chaps.
First season. The Caleb Bowen jumper.
Vintage.
Special.
Yes, very special.
On the show tonight, Cats v Demons, round one preview. We are starting the season. Can't believe it's finally here, but it is. The Cats attempting to get off their campaign in good fashion against the team they knocked out of the finals last year at the semi-final stage in one of the all-time AFLW clashes against Melbourne. The Cats winning that one. I believe it was 45-40 or 50-45. It was a 5-point victory, whatever the case may be. But that's what we're going to preview. As per usual, we will then duck over to the extended Patreon part of the show. You should go over and hit up a 7-day free trial there. You get extended versions of our shows. You get Wednesday news wrap. You get scratching post episodes with Paul, VFL men's and women's coverage. I'm about to do a VFL men's finals preview tomorrow night after I knock off ye olde day job. So go on over and check out the Hoops Crew on Patreon. Chaps, before we get stuck into this preview, we've got another little thing, bit of housekeeping to tick off as well. And that is the very exciting news and a very excited thank you to our brand new media network sponsor, Cyril Cook Florist. They have been in the Geelong area since 1915, chaps. That's longer than the Cats have been the Cats. I think we were the Seagulls or the Pivotonians or something before that. Cyril Cook, they were there before we were the Cats. You can go visit the website, www.cyrilcookflorist.com.au. That's Cook with an E. You can pick up the phone and give them a call, 03-5 222 2244. Or if you're feeling so inclined to get on your pins and wander into the store, Hoops Crew viewers and listeners can get a 20% discount the next time you wander in and buy something in store from Cyril Cook Florist. They're located at shop 1211 Leather Street, Breakwater. And we thank you very much for jumping on.
Perfect time.
Exactly. It is
Father's Day coming up this weekend. Why not buy a father a nice bouquet of flowers from Cyril Cook? 20% off. Like, how can you go wrong?
Especially, I would love for Father's Day to get a bouquet of flowers, especially if they were maybe some white flowers with some blue hooped ribbons in there, something along those lines.
Even like a little box as well. Like, those box flowers you can get, come in the box. They're always
we know all
nice,
the terminology,
pretty special.
All the terminology.
The bouquet, the box arrangement. We just
gift card.
We know it all.
Exactly. That's a good one, Sam. A gift card to give your dad so he can buy the wife or his mother or whatever a bouquet of flowers around Christmas, or just as a
Right. It's a great Father's Day present, actually. Give your dad a leg up for the next present he needs to get somebody else.
Exactly.
Sort of like a bit of a backhanded Father's Day gift, that one. But no,
pay it forward.
Yes,
as they say.
I do.
Yeah,
flowers, an underrated gift, no matter the demographic we're aiming at. Love it. Love a good scented, say like native flowers. I'm a big fan of some wattle, bit of greenery. That'll get it done for me. Anyway, enough of
the good thing
Chaps
is,
chat flowers. No, John, I'm
John's
pulling
not
a pin
done.
on it.
you
We're
can even
moving
just
on.
buy flowers
Five
for
and
the
a half
house.
minutes.
We're just excited
We're
about
jumping
the
in.
new
See
sponsorship,
ya.
all right?
I know
We've
you're
opened
allowed
our
to be.
horizon.
Absolutely, we ripped the tin off the flower chat in a big way there. Now, somebody who won't be giving any flowers this weekend are the Demons. They are going to be coming full of vengeance down to Kardinia Park, looking to seek revenge on the Cats for ending their campaign in the finals last season. As we said, it was an absolute thriller. Going to come to you first here, Johnny. What are your thoughts and feelings going into this matchup? Big game against one of the powerhouses of the competition. Is it an opportunity for Geelong to maybe put down their stamp that, hey, we have arrived? Last year wasn't just a flash in the pan.
Most definitely. And this team has got the absolute skills, the players, the mentality, the culture, the structure, everything about them sings a team that is ready to pounce. They're ready to prey on the victims, prey on the demons, and just pounce on them and get them get themselves a good victory. I truly do believe this Cats team, after last year's bitter disappointment of the way they went out in the prelim, I reckon they'll still be burning deep down inside of them. It's still, it still angers me to this day. I still get really frustrated and disappointed at how they went out. Not in the players, just the way it all unfolded. But yeah, I just got a feeling this team is hungry. They're a hungry team. We're ready for a massive season, and I really can't see them coming out any other way but fired up, ready to go. You got the senior players like McDonald, Morrison, Becky Webster, who they'll definitely want to win a premiership, and they'll be super hungry and be able to lead this team into the future. And I think it all starts this weekend. And this is a big statement game at home against, as you said, a premier side into competition. I don't think the Cats could have asked for a better way to start the season. Otherwise, but going up against a tough opponent, bring it on, and they're definitely ready, and they'll be fired up. But as I said earlier, I can't wait. Super excited to see this team run out again.
Obviously, shorter season, just 11 home and away games. We talked about it a bit a couple of nights ago on the big season preview, where we looked into all angles of the upcoming campaign. You should go and have a look at that one if you haven't done so already. But Sambo, shortened season, imperative to get off to a good start. The Cats have this game at home, then it's 3 matches on the road against the Blues, the Roos, and the Suns. How do you feel going into this one?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the way John does. I feel good going into it. I feel like, sort of to echo what John was saying, there's every reason for us to come out fired up. But I guess at the start of any season, as I shift my focus, across to the W season, there's also feels like a bit of unknown. There's been some departures, some new arrivals, which we'll obviously get into the selection. But yeah, there is a little bit of butterflies for me. There's a little bit of nerves that like this might be a game where we get jumped. Far be it for me to be pessimistic, but as I said in the preview, the season preview, I feel like this is going to be a really tough run. I think we're going to come out the other side of these first 4 games carved out of marble, I think was the terminology I used. I think we're going to come out of it really strong and go on a really strong run for the season. But I do see that we might drop a couple of these first 4. And I think we have every reason to expect to win this one. But I do also think that, as you sort of alluded to, Jake, Melbourne are coming down with a vengeance in their hearts, I would say. So it's going to be, I hope it's going to be a really good, competitive, fiery match either way. But yeah, I think there might be some small teething pains for the squad to get the season rolling, and then once we go through this murderer's row, I think we're going to be setting ourselves up really good for a final stretch.
Yeah, no, I think it's important to get out at least even out of the first month, at least 2-2. If you can go better than that, perfect. But 2-2 in a relatively tricky little spot should give you a good launching platform. 3-1 would be great. 4-0 would be like, let's book our grand final tickets.
Honestly, if we do win this, if we win this one, and I think, as I said, I hope and think we can, but I'm quite nervous as well. But if we do win this one, I do think my expectations will almost immediately be elevated. Like I do have this sense that the lids might go off my expectations really early if we were to win this game.
I think
turnaround
I got the lid off pretty early myself. I don't know. I've just got that feeling that this team is like they've been able to stick together, like the core group and the players that have left. You know, they were sort of still on the outskirts of the team, but apart from a couple, I can't remember who. Sorry, the bit who was it who left? Oh my god, I can't remember her name.
We had a few rucks: Olivia Fuller, Erin Hall, Annabelle Johnson.
Erin Hall,
they all departed.
Annabelle Johnson, yep.
Airing.
So yeah, a few there that were fairly important, but to still keep the Georgie Prasparkas, who everyone was sort of worried that she might head off to Bombers for her to sign that 4-year deal, just filled me with so much optimism and hope and pride in Georgie staying with the Cats and going, yeah, this team's going to go somewhere this year. If she's here to stay with the Cats, then boy, I'm excited. I just got that feeling.
Yeah, it's a nice statement of intention from the Cats. They signed a bunch of players to extended deals and stuff over the off-season, as well as bringing in some recruits. And we can talk about at least one of those new recruits here as we zip over into the team selection part of the evening. Now, it's an interesting one, chaps. We talked a bit about this last night, who might feature, who might not. Cats have rolled out like this. The back line, and I've got to adjust because, we're a couple of players lighter on the field at either end of the ground. It's two fullbacks, two full forwards as opposed to three in each. We've got Chantal Eamonson and Claudia Gunjaka down at the full back line. The halfback is Rebecca Webster, Megatron McDonald, and Rachel Kearns, who found that home down across the halfback flank last year. She looked a weapon playing that position in the preseason game that I watched. Zali Friswell, Georgie Prasparkas, and Michaela Bowen are named across the centre. The half forwards, Julia Crockett-Grills, Jacqueline Parry. Got to get used to saying Jackie Parry. That's what's on her Geelong Cats profile and stuff. So I've got to remember that. Jackie Parry. And Kate Sermon, the other two in that half forward line. And the full forward line, chaps, Aisling Maloney from County Tipperary and Kate Kenny of County Offaly, an all-Irish full forward line there. The followers, Kate Darby, Amy McDonald and Nina Morrison, and the interchange to come from Georgie Rankin, Gabby Featherston, Shelley Scott, Anna Rose Kennedy, a fourth Irish woman in the lineup, and Darcy Maloney, the second Maloney in the lineup. Emergencies are Abby McDonald, Brooke Plummer, and Chantel Mason. Sambo, coming to you here first. What stands out for you here in this first lineup, the first lineup in a competitive game of the season?
Well, I mean, I guess you might have to illuminate me here, but was Jackie Parry more of the full forward last year? Is it unusual for her? Like, is it irregular for her to be listed as a half forward, or was that sort of what she was listed as? And she would just kind of rotate a little bit
at half forward.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I remember her line out mainly like sort of that half forward area.
Because she did rotate. She did rotate around a little bit.
Yeah. Like
but
was
I didn't know if she was ever listed as that and then just rotated out, or maybe more like this. She's listed as the half forward and then would rotate up.
I think she's sort of that plays that like, as you said, the rotating, like she'd be named half forward and still play like a fair bit in the full forward area.
Yeah. So who is technically our ruck. The page is so
Kate
small
Darby.
on
Darby.
Darby is our official listed ruck. So I'm trying to actually
Yep.
zoom this.
Yep.
I'm trying to zoom the StreamYard in to be able to read
I know,
on
it's
this
tiny,
very
it's
small window. I
tiny.
do apologize. I should have had I should have had the team list in a separate window, but I was not prepared. So that's I mean that's interesting. We do know that they like rolling Derby through there. I would have liked to have seen the a debut, as we discussed in the. I don't want to give away all the all the secrets and the stuff we talked about in the preview, because I'd encourage anyone to go and listen to the three of us and Ben waffle about the upcoming season, because I think there was some good conversations in there. But yeah, apart from that, apart from the fact that they've gone with Derby as the which is maybe always to be the case. Um, she's been in the side for a lot longer, obviously, and she's had some experience, so maybe they'll be looking to blood some people as the season progresses, or maybe even look to next year. But apart from that, no real surprises to me. I don't know. What about you guys?
I'm fascinated by the all Irish full forward, to be honest. Like, Kate Kenny was one that when the Chloe Shear injury was announced, I said, Kate Kenny's got the sort of game style, at least from what she showed playing Gaelic football, that she could be that dynamic sort of second banana next to Aisling Maloney. I think we should temper our expectations a bit. I watched her in the preseason game, and she's probably taken to it just a little less readily than, like, Aisling Maloney came in and looked like she'd been kicking a footy her entire life. I think Kate Kenny's probably still warming to it a little bit. But having said that, the clay that you've got there to sort of mold into that star is super impressive. And so it wouldn't shock me at all either if the learning curve is quick. If she does adapt really quickly. And I actually like that pairing of Aisling Maloney and Kate Kenny, because Aisling Maloney's been through it last season. She's learned. She's gone through that rookie season. So she can be right there now to help Kate Kenny learn in real time of, like, oh no, you've got to lead there, or we need you to do this, or because she's maybe made some of those mistakes herself. I really like it, and I'm excited that Kate Kenny's got this opportunity. Really excited for it, I guess, would be my takeaway.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited by this lineup. It's a pretty solid lineup by my feeling. And yeah, 4 Irish players. That's pretty incredible, and big faith in Kate Kenny to come in and play full forward in her first game. Like, that's got to be a bit of a confidence boost for herself. And yeah, like, the rest of the players is pretty much what I was sort of expecting the team to look like. Apart from Kate Kenny, I wasn't expecting to see her round one, but I'm excited that she is coming in round one. So yeah, that's a solid lineup, and one I think that's gonna play pretty well together. And as you said, Jake, Kate Kenny's got Aisling Maloney there to lean on and gain experience off, alongside Sermon, Parry, and Crockett Grills. Like, it's a pretty good forward line to line up with and learn from and experience and just witness what they do. So yeah, I'm pretty much sort of what I was expecting. As I said, wasn't expecting Kate Kenny there, but happy to see her there, and hopefully she does really well and cements a spot in that forward line.
Yeah, and I think it was probably, it was really between her and Chantel Mason, who's named in the emergencies. I would have been happy either way, but I think I like that Kate Kenny's, I don't know, she's probably just that little bit older. I think I haven't actually done a Google, but I'm assuming she is a more mature age recruit. She's probably played in some bigger games, maybe not in the same sport, but she was a key contributor in a couple of championship wins for teams back in Ireland. Like, stood up in big moments and delivered. So I love that, and this will be a big stage, obviously under lights. Only one I'll just leave us with on team selection is Abby McDonald. absolutely destroyed the VFLW when she played this year. She was having like, 25, 30 touches a game easily, just racking it up. Down back as an intercepting defender, and then they'd put her on ball as well, and she would just rack up, disposals and clearances. I think it shows how much depth Geelong have in their midfield at the moment. I think, if you maybe rewind back to 2021 and you had an Abby McDonald type player in the sort of form she was in the VFLW, she'd be an automatic pick. But it's really hard to get past Prasparkas, McDonald, Morrison. It's tough. So yeah, hopefully she gets her look at some point. But she's certainly been in cracking form in the VFLW. Chaps, let's end the public show on this, and that is what we want to see. Johnny, I'm going to come to you first. What is it you're going into this game? What do you want to see?
I just want to see the Cats apply high, good amounts of pressure to the Melbourne's disposal, not let them just use the chip kick style or easy disposals. I want to see that high pressure, and this team, I believe, will bring that high pressure. They'll be ready to apply tackles and just pressure Melbourne into making mistakes. As I said, I don't really want to see the Cats just letting them, do that kick switch ball that we see the men sometimes let other teams do. I'd just like to see them apply that pressure throughout the game. It doesn't have to be like frantic, absolute mad pressure. Just enough. Just as we say in the social soccer, just jockey people. Just make them think about what they're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just add to there. I just flicked back to that round. What was it? Round 5 game against Melbourne at Kardinia Park last season. They beat us 74-25. We were sort of in it at quarter time, even early on in the second quarter, and then they just pulled away, and we really couldn't go with them. We made a bit of a fight of it in the third term. And then the last quarter, they held us scoreless and kicked 4 goals, 3 themselves. And I remember on our recap pod talking about that Geelong did not pressure with a high level of efficiency, that too many players were getting sucked into the one contest. Melbourne were easily able to just change an angle to flick a hand pass or a clever kick out. The Demons in that game racked up 149 uncontested possessions to Geelong's 127. I remember there was a move in that game. They destroyed us with a chain of handballs that I think it was that game where there was not a kick involved until they put it through the goal. It was all hands, from pretty much their back line straight up the guts. And so, yeah, Geelong have to be disciplined, Johnny, in their pressure, like you've said. Sambo, what do you want to see?
I think it goes hand in hand with what John was talking about, and that's the off-ball structure. It's something I've talked about before many times. And I'd really like to see that. That's such a fundamental thing that I think it's really hard to sort of scrounge that back after the fact, late in a game, late in a season, into a finals race, anything like that. So I think it's something that you've got to ideally have really locked down, and then everything else can build from that. Particularly your off-ball structure, like when we're defensively, like that's where your pressure comes from, being in the right position that allows you to pressure without having to run half a field to lay a tackle. And then of course also the off ball structure when we're moving forward to when we gain possession and we're going into attack mode, being there for each other, creating triangles, creating space, creating options and areas to fill in the space. I think it's a massive thing. Again, a really simple fundamental thing that it can get lost in the rub. I think when teams are focused on being hard and tough and fast and working hard, there can be a lot of running and a lot of huffing. And you can make it so much easier for yourself with just making sure your structure's on point, that you're where you need to be before the tackle needs to be laid or before the ball needs to be collected. So that's just a really simple thing that I'd like to see them come out the gate with that. Like their disposal efficiency, tackle efficiency, all that stuff can come. It can be built on later, but you really need to have that fundamental thing, I think, in place early, especially in such a short season.
Yeah,
Nice.
definitely. Just an interesting little stat that stood out to me here. Chantal Eamonson and Becky Webster combined for 34 disposals last time and 15 turnovers between them. Now, those are two players who, you would be thinking of bringing it out of the back for the Cats. So, that probably speaks to the fact that Melbourne were able to turn us over and send it back the other way a lot. I haven't gone back and rewatched the game, so I might be talking out of my backside there, but just interesting to note. I will keep it simple. I want to see a big crowd. I want to see Cardinia Park rocking. I want to tune in and be pleasantly surprised by how many Cats fans go, hey, the AFL finals are on a bye week. Get down, fill KP with a loud and raucous crowd. The crowds were good last year, chaps, and there weren't even massive numbers at different times, like 4,000 or 5,000 people, and it sounded like twice that. So I just want to see a massive crowd. I think this team is building something incredibly special, and get on board with it now, because it's not even just like I'm not saying just get along and support as a token. I'm saying this team could be really damn good. And if you want to watch some really good footy, go along and treat yourself. Get on the ride early. All right, that's enough from us. Going to play you out here. It is the tradition on the show to play you out with the halftime horse on the public show. So we're going to do that. We're going to duck over and talk behind the Patreon curtain. Going to do our Patreon match predictions. Until next time, go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats. You get your cordial, your lollies are a spray from the coach. Lollies, absolutely.
Spray.
So you get your cordial, you get your lollies are a spray from the coach.
Lollies,
absolutely.
Spray. That's what halftime's about.